Morning, friends. Hopefully the sun's not too bright today. Today we're going to go ahead and start building the flooring and putting up some of the side walls for the inside here for the goat stalls. So what I decided to do, instead of putting some sort of polycarbonate like garage flooring down on the wood or like linoleum, what I decided to do was just use really cheap 1/2-inch sheathing or plywood, just rough cut kind of looking stuff. And the benefit for that was, number one is I can take it up and replace it every couple of years as needed. We were a little afraid that the polycarbonate, which some people use, and the linoleum could get slippery. I mean, by the time you put goat shavings and or the shavings on the flooring, and then a little bit of urine and what have you, we were a little nervous it would be slippery. So we decided to go ahead and use the wood. It was fairly inexpensive, even though wood prices right now are a little bit higher. And so that's what we decided to do. And you'll see later on, and I explain towards the end, as we're going through this, people are going to be like, oh, why did you use screws instead of nails? Well, I'll reiterate this at the end, but really it's because it enabled me to the ability to remove or replace that plywood or that sheathing later. I just went around like the edges of the sheathing, so that literally 8 screws I could just 8 to 10 screws I could just take them out, pull up the whole sheathing and replace it within a matter of 5 minutes. If I were to nail it down, I was a little nervous it would be harder to get up and just too much time later on. So this is kind of what we did in our old little mini goat barn. I just put an extra layer down, and couple years in, it's doing fine. I used it to put my tractor on before we converted it to a mini barn. But at any rate, so today we're going to go ahead and go through putting in the sheathing for the flooring, and then I go ahead and put it up on the walls as well. That's just to keep an extra barrier there between the external wall and the internal wall. I'm not going to insulate it. It's not really necessary. And then I also put some 2x4s in the top, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video here, to kind of limit the ability for bugs and wasps and bees to make nests down in between the sheathing on the internal wall and the sheathing or this T111 on the external wall. And then also to keep dirt and stuff from getting down in there. And it gives a little bit extra barrier insulation, if you will. So sit back, enjoy, and we'll talk through this as we go through it. As I'll speed up some parts, slow down some parts, just to show you kind of what I did to get the flooring and the siding up. So sit back and enjoy, and let's get started. All right, guys, that does it for today's video. Thank you for joining us today. Again, as a summary, we did the sheathing on the floor, we did a sheathing on the walls, and we put the 2x4s between the external wall and the internal wall such that dirt and bees and what have you and debris couldn't get in between that wall. The next video is going to be me building the stalls out and the gates and putting the hardware on. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please tune in for the next one, pay attention, and the best way to do that is by helping us. So please click the subscribe button as well as the notification button. And when you see the next video, spend a few minutes and view it and see how we're doing and follow us along.